Guys, just quickly, I'm going to today make a tag. I got a lot of emails saying basically you guys didn't know how to make a simple tag. So I'm just going to go through all the processes start to finish. So right now, what I've done is just got an ordinary shipping tag. I've distressed the edges using my Heidi Swap distresser. Now I've got my Tim Holtz Distress inks. What I like to do is actually start from the beginning. And I like to work from lightest to darkest colour. That then gradually builds the colour so it's not one big whack. I think that way it makes the colour, can make the colour too dark. And I just don't like it personally. So anyway, I'm just going to get cracking. Okay, so right now I'm using Antique Linen by Tim Holtz Distress Inks. Okay. Alright, so that just gives it a light colour. Then I build up to the tea dye. And that just gradually builds up another layer of colour. I find with distressing like this, it just makes it look more natural and not too dark. And then, like I said, if it's too light, you can build it up a bit more. Okay. Alrighty. So that was the tea dye. Okay. A little bit darker. And like I said, I've distressed the edges and it's just a little shipping tag. Okay, now I'm using Vintage Photo. Tim Holtz. Okay. I find with this one you don't need as much colour because it is so dark. Between this and the walnut stain, you don't need much of it. We're doing a vintage look for this tag, so we want it to look really grungy and really old and like it's just worn by itself. You know, when you find things old, they're not perfectly aged, they're kind of, you know, all over the place aged. Okay, sorry, I just want to build up that colour a bit. Okay, so that was the Vintage Photo one. These inks are great for making things look old. Okay, now moving on to the walnut. Like I said, with the walnut, you don't need much at all. Okay, now I'm just going to go to the edges with the walnut. Okay. And for people out there that don't have Tim Holtz inks, I think if you're going to be making vintage stuff, it is a must. I find with the walnut it's better for stamping and inking edges and stuff because it gives it that look like it's been burnt, which I like. Okay, I won't flip that yet. Okay, now I'm just going to get into my stamps where I'm just going to stamp my Kaiser Craft script. Okay. Alright. So I'm using Timber Brown Stazon. Sorry about the lighting, guys. Like I said, I like to craft over night time. And I'm so sorry I haven't done a video sooner. Okay. So I'm just basically inking that up and I'm going to stamp. Okay. And you don't want to push real hard because what happens is you want it kind of to be a bit patchy. Match it up again. Okay. Because you want it to look vintage again, so it doesn't need to be perfect. You kind of don't want to push all over, you just want it to sort of be a bit patchy like that. And I find that's a very nice script writing stamp. Okay, I'm going to use that in a sec. Okay, next what I'm going to do is use another stamp out of a magazine that I got. I got these free. And I'm going to be using the corner stamp. This one here. Or that one there, if you can see it. Okay. And what we're going to do, a stamping block. Okay. I'm just going to have it there. Okay, let's get it. And we're just going to stamp it in these two corners up here. Okay. And we've got one. And we're kind of missing that corner bit up the top. We're just getting the bottom bits because these corners are kind of cut off. They're not a perfect square, if you know what I mean. Okay. As you can see there, stamped. Okay. Then what we do is just move that up there. Okay. Now I want to stamp another thing down here. So what I'm doing is I've got Kaisercraft Bonjour stamps, and I'm going to use this bird in the Bonjour collection. Okay. Again, using the Stazon Timber Brown, and I just want this bird part towards the end. And there's a lot of detail on this stamp. It's really nice. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay. And we just want the bird. Okay. Just step it in. Okay. And you can see that right there. So the bird goes across there. Okay. Sorry guys, I'll just do it a bit tidier. Okay, now what we're going to do is flip the board the opposite way. And what I'm going to start doing is adding some lace. So we're adding some lace from the Lace Mama. And I'm basically just going to put a bit of my roll of tape across. Okay. And I have a number of these tapes. Like I said in my last video, they're from Happily Ever Crafter. And I know a lot of you got confused when I said that before, because they're actually, I didn't realise there's one in America also. But it's actually the one in Australia. I'll leave the links below anyway if you guys want to go check it out. Anyway, I'm just adhering my lace. Okay. And we don't mind, I really like the look of it kind of hanging over a bit. Okay, just going to add a little bit of tape because that's bent in the position. Okay. Actually, let's just put some glue to give it extra strength. Again, I'm using my Helmer's 450 glue. Okay, just put a little bit across, not much, a little bit. Okay, cool. Right now, we're going to put that over. Make sure it's even on both sides as the flapping's hanging over. Okay, now I'm going to use some more tape, but I'm going to go for the skinnier one again. And I'm just going to put this over the top. And what I'm actually doing is adding pearl trim to that. But it can be a bit harder to stick this tape to lace, but I find your pearls, because I can't find the flat back ones over here, it's much easier because they are rounded all around to stick your pearls. Okay, so I've pre-cut some white big pearls, so I'm just going to put that across. Okay, and just push it in really heavily to make sure it's all pushed in there and it will not budge. So that is my tag so far. So as you can see, it's hanging over the edge. Don't really mind. Okay. Alright. Next, what I'm going to do is start with my flowers. Okay. And get some of my tools out. Okay, probably should have pre-cut them all. Okay, this one I've just gone over already with tea stain with tea distress inks, and I've wet it to make it bleed. I'm using buds from Iron Roses, the little orange ones. Okay, I keep all my stems because I curl them at a later date. I'm using just some local flowers and another one that I've tea stained and wet, because I find it then bleeds all together. Okay. Oops. Sorry guys. Popped behind the camera. Okay. Now let's get cracking. So basically I'm just going to place my flowers in the idea I kind of have in my head. Okay. Basically, I just want them to sort of sit there. Okay. Okay, thank you for this. I'm just going to distress ink the edges to make it a little bit darker around the edges. Probably should have done it beforehand, but you know me, I always forget and do it at the last minute. Okay, just take that off for a sec. This Helmer's glue I find is the best for flowers. If you do not want your flowers to budge, Helmer's is the way to go. Okay, so basically, like I said, what I've done is I've used tea stain and tea stain that flower and distress ink, sorry, and then what I've done is wet it and bled it, and then I've just gone over it with the bit of ink that we use. So as you can see, it's right there. Okay, so let's start getting our flowers all ready. Okay, I'm going to ink that one up too. And it's advised that if you're going to ink flowers, you're better cutting the stems off last. Okay, so that's just to give the edges a little bit of brown. Okay, so let's get sticking. Everything's just fallen over, but it's alright. Okay. Next. Okay. Alrighty. So now we're going to add our buds. We don't want them that long. We just want to clean up any glue. Okay. Just trying to. Got dropsy again tonight. Okay. And I got a cold, if you can hear my nose, more nasally. Okay. And that's why I haven't been doing any videos lately. I've been really sick. Okay, so as you can see, flowers, and then I've put the buds. Okay. Alright, those stems that I cut off. Now, what I'm doing is I'm just going for the more shorter ones. I get the end of my paper piercer and I just curl it around like that. You can do a couple different ones, having it straight and then just curled at the ends, or you can pull it really out quite long and have that. Okay, you want to just cut a bit off. Okay. Just glue that in. And let's have another one. Do the other side. Same thing, curl around. Okay, and then you pull it apart like that. Okay, and if you need to cut it, then you can cut it shorter in areas. Just put a little bit of glue. Don't need a whole heap. Okay. Move that a bit higher. If it makes me that, I'm going to cut it a bit shorter. Okay, get that in. Okay, so as you can see, there we are. Okay, let's get cracking. Okay, now what we're going to do is just add some butterflies. Okay, like I said, I pre-do all my butterflies. I have a lot of butterflies. And I just have them all in a jar. I glossy accent them. I use glitter. I do a number of things to them. And then what I do is basically just have them ready to go on. Okay, and let's grab another colour. Just want some little ones. Okay, I think that's alright. A little bit more. Okay, now I'm just using a quick glue. These are great for littler things when you don't want a whole lot of glue and you don't want to see the glue underneath, which I never want to see the glue underneath. Okay. Just like to flap the wings up. Okay. Do the same on the other one. And push it down. I like to flap my butterflies 2 different directions because you don't really want them going the same direction, I find. Sorry guys, we need a bit more glue. Okay. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is add some fibres to that top bit. Okay. What I've done is I've pre-cut some jute, some fibres and a number of different things here. Okay. What I'm going to do, see, I've pre-cut them all and they're all ready to go. What you now do is pop them through your hole. A bit at a time. Problem is with these small holes, it can be a bit complicated to do. And everyone has their own way of doing things. I like doing it this way. Okay, bit of ribbon. Okay. And I think that's about it. Okay, now we get the loop part, just like doing a scarf. And you get the long bit and put that through. And boom. Okay. I like to basically finish it off just with a little bit of jute twine. Okay, so I'm going to wrap that around. And then what I do is tie it around like that, and I'm just going to do it in a little bow. Okay. Right, we're going to cut it with our scissors. we're going to do is this is the last of it, and then I'm done. I've got just a garment pin, and what I'm actually going to do is get this key right here. As you can see, the little gold key, and I'm going to just knot it through my top bit. Okay. And I just want to add this one little pin. I'm just going to put the littlest bit of glue on the back of it. What we're going to do is hide it under that flower down here. So it's just poking out a bit. Okay. And that's my tag for today. I hope you guys like it, and make sure you leave a comment below, and I will be giving it to one lucky person. So thank you very much for commenting and writing to me, and all your support, and to see any of my finished products or projects. Have a look at Just Cards by Sarah on Facebook. I'll leave the link below anyway. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.